Hey everyone, welcome to your Universe Z, the place where we talk all about the Dragon Ball universe. Today we are going to go through Gotenks revealing that he surpassed Goku after training with Whis. And if you would like to see more Dragon Ball content, please leave your like and subscribe to join our Universe Z. Gotenks' power is certainly not for everyone. When it comes to evolutions in Dragon Ball, we know that they don't always go the way we expect, but it would certainly be surprising if something similar actually happened. Potential of this fusion in particular is great, but could it surpass Vegetto himself? How would that be possible? What are Gotenks' capabilities and potentials? Let's talk about all of this in today's video. Gotenks, formerly known as Trunks, is the immensely powerful fusion of Goten and Trunks successfully using the fusion dance, and the first successful fusion dance character to be seen in the Dragon Ball series. Gotenks is a fusion taught to Goten and Trunks by Goku and later trained by Piccolo. He is one of the fusions accomplished through the use of the fusion dance technique. Dance is a special type of fusion skill, a connection through the fingers of the fuse. Fuses need to perform a special type of pose and then connect their index fingers evenly to produce a perfect fusion. He, like Gogeta, is summoned in desperation to defeat powerful enemies. Gotenks' case, that enemy is Majin Buu, and later in the saga, he will be used by Super Buu as his main source of energy when Gotenks is absorbed. He is seen a few times in Dragon Ball Z and in the movies, debuting in Dragon Ball Z, Fusion Reborn. Gotenks is very young, but powerful, and is very playful and an extreme procrastinator. He has a rather arrogant and rebellious personality. He likes to do things his own way, and it has been said more than once that he acts more like Vegetto than anyone else. Gotenks thinks he is in total control and has everything in his hands. He is able to perform some transformations, increasing his power and making him more confident and deadly in battle. He is quite creative and original and creates a wide but ridiculous range of his own attack. However, some of his creative techniques inflict powerful damage, such as his Super Ghost Kamikaze attack or his Galactic Donut. Gotenks' personality is unique, although he shares personality traits with his creators, Goten and Trunks. Gotenks is known to be arrogant, cocky, and mischievous like Trunks, but he acts playful and occasionally whiny like Goten. Gotenks is a pompous, immature, and vain fighter who believes his power is enough to take on anyone, even when he is about to lose a fight. This is probably due to his huge increase in power during the fusion, creating a warrior much like the counterpart of his fuse parents. Gotenks loves to be overly dramatic and shows this by calling his attacks out loud and giving ridiculous names to somewhat stylized versions of normal punches and kicks. His exhibitionist nature ironically makes him similar to Mr. Satan, although unlike the world champion, Gotenks has the power to back him up. However, he tends to think of himself as a hero fighting for justice, which is true, as the only thing that limits him is his arrogance and tendency to waste time showing off, which is a dangerous habit for a fusion like himself. One of the biggest examples of this is when he pretended to have run out of techniques after Super Buu survived his Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, to build dramatic tension before revealing his Super Saiyan 3 form, only for Piccolo to assume he was serious and resort to trapping them inside the hyperbolic time chamber, only for Super Buu to escape after realizing he would be trapped without any chocolate. Once he consumed or killed Gotenks and Piccolo, causing him to break the dimensional barrier, consume everyone in the lookout, except for Dend, and included Gotenks' last surviving mother, Bulma, after turning them into chocolate, which probably wouldn't have happened, since it was the prospect of being stuck without candy that drove Super Buu's feeding frenzy, if Gotenks had taken the fight seriously and turned into Super Saiyan 3. Several characters have noted this. His tendency to not listen to others resembles Vegetto. As an adult, he has matured a bit and takes fights more seriously, similar to his fusion father, Gogeta. His more mature personality can also be attributed to his fuses. Goten and Trunks have matured as they both take fighting more seriously and do not have the childishness of their youth. The childish Gotenks has a tendency to create many bizarre attacks with equally bizarre names, some of which are not special at all and some of which cause gigantic amounts of damage. Most of his attacks are only used once, due to the large number of them in his arsenal. His habit of creating absurd single-use attacks is less apparent in the anime, as Gotenks tends to use the same techniques repeatedly. There are few characters in the Dragon Ball universe who take advantage of fusions like Goten and Trunks, as they regularly become the Saiyan amalgam fighter Gotenks while fighting bad guys. However, while they probably use fusions more than anyone, including Goku and Vegetto, Gotenks is far from the most powerful being created as a result of fusions, although he does have an attack that would be perfect to use against the one character who truly is the most powerful fusion in Dragon Ball. Gotenks made his debut in Dragon Ball Chapter 480 by Akira Toriyama. Gotenks' form is achieved when Goten and Trunks successfully perform the fusion dance, which is a complicated technique that requires both fighters to align their kiss perfectly, then perfectly execute every intricate dance move for this mystical technique. Like Gotenks, Trunks and Goten are able to simultaneously experience an incredible surge of power that neither could achieve alone. This includes their ability to perform a powerful attack that has the strength to take on an entire army. In Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Dark Demon Realm Mission, Chapter 11 by Yoshitaka Nagayama, alternate versions of the Z fighters have joined an interdimensional police force known as the Time Patrol, and they are on a mission to stop the Dark Empire before they rise from their dark demon realm and conquer the multiverse. In this chapter, the Time Patrol is facing the entire Dark Empire army and is greatly outnumbered. However, two members of the Time Patrol are Xeno Trunks and Xeno Goten, who are adults in this story, and they quickly merge to become a new Gotenks. Gotenks, the Saiyans use an attack called Super Ghost Kamikaze, which effectively creates an army of ghostly Gotenks that explode when they come into contact with an enemy. In the future Trunks saga of Dragon Ball Super by Akira Toriyama and Toyotaru, Goku and Vegetto are facing an immortal villain named Zamasu along with an alternate version of the villain who has taken over Goku's body and become the almost unbeatable fighter known as Goku Black. Zamasu is a god, and after making a request for the Super Dragon Spheres, he became invincible. So when he merged with his Saiyan-powered counterpart, the two separate villains became one, and in doing so, claimed the title of Dragon Ball, the strongest fusion of. At the end of this saga, Fusion Zamasu duplicated himself into hundreds of separate but equally powerful entities in an effort to kill the Z Warriors once and for all and continue his dark quest to eliminate all existing mortal life. While the Z Warriors defeat Zamasu with the help of Xeno, an all-powerful god, they would have easily died had the Omni King refused to assist them in their battle. However, if they had Gotenks with them during this battle, he could have used the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack to at least distract Zamasu long enough to fend off his attack, as this technique would have temporarily injured all of Zamasu's at once. While Gotenks' Super Ghost Kamikaze technique is not strong enough to kill Zamasu or any of his duplicates, his contribution to this battle would have given Goku and Vegetto the time needed to formulate a plan of attack if Xeno refused to eliminate the threat to them, which would make Gotenks responsible for the eventual victory of the Z Warriors. Because of his unique Super Ghost Kamikaze technique, Gotenks proves that he is the only hero, besides an all-powerful god, who can defeat Dragon Ball's strongest fusion. That said, we could say that if Gotenks were able to train properly with some correct master, he could easily overcome Vegetto. Even if it were with some angel character, like Whis, for example, it would certainly be the sweet spot for him to gain even more power and perhaps interesting transformations, like Superior Instinct itself. It would be really exciting to see this on screen, wouldn't it? But what about you? Do you think Gotenks can overcome Vegetto? He learned some transformation that would lead him to surpass him. Leave your opinion in the comments. That's it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for videos, don't forget to comment here below, because I'll be reading all of them as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your Universe Z.